You check your bank account again. You just checked it an hour ago. Nothing has changed, but somehow you needed to see it again. Why does money do this to you? The honest answer is stranger than you think. Your brain was never built to handle money. Not the concept of it, not the anxiety of it, not the endless comparison it creates. For most of human history, there was no such thing as a bank balance. There was only food, shelter, and the tribe around you, and that changes everything about how you experience wealth today. Let's go back. 200,000 years of human evolution happened before the first coin was ever minted. Your ancestors did not save for retirement. They did not check stock prices. They tracked something much simpler: status within the group. Who had food, who had allies, who was respected. That was the entire economy. And status, back then, was relative. It didn't matter if your tribe had more food than a tribe 1,000 miles away. What mattered was whether you had more than the person standing next to you. Because in a small group, the person next to you was your competition, for mates, for resources, for survival itself. This is the part your brain never unlearned. Psychologist Leon Festinger called this social comparison theory. He proposed that humans don't evaluate their own worth in absolute terms. They evaluate it by looking sideways. At the neighbor, at the coworker, at the person from high school who just bought a bigger house. Your brain isn't asking, do I have enough? It's asking, do I have as much as them? Here's where it gets uncomfortable. You could double your income tomorrow, and you would likely feel the exact same amount of satisfaction in about 6 months. This isn't speculation. It's been measured. In 1978, researchers Philip Brickman, Dan Coates, and Ronnie Janoff-Bullman studied two very different groups of people: lottery winners, who had suddenly become wealthy, and accident victims, who had become paralyzed. Logic says the lottery winners should have been far happier, but when researchers measured their day-to-day life satisfaction, months later, the lottery winners weren't significantly happier than the paralyzed group. Both groups had adapted back toward their baseline. This is the hedonic treadmill. You run toward more, you get more, and your happiness resets to where it started. Not because the money didn't work, but because your brain was built to notice change, not to notice level. It's built to detect the difference between yesterday and today, not to sit still and feel grateful for what already exists. Think about your own life for a second. Remember the last raise you got. For a few weeks, everything felt different. Then it didn't. The new salary became the new normal, and your brain, quietly, immediately, started looking for the next thing to want. What if the treadmill isn't a flaw? What if it's the exact mechanism that kept your ancestors alive? A brain that felt permanently satisfied would have stopped hunting, stopped gathering, stopped competing for a mate. Contentment, in evolutionary terms, was dangerous. So evolution built a brain that resets, a brain that always wants slightly more than it has. It wasn't designed to make you happy. It was designed to keep you moving. But here is the twist nobody tells you. That ancient wiring, built for a world where wealth meant food and safety, is now running inside a world of infinite comparison. Your ancestors compared themselves to maybe 150 people. That's the number anthropologist Robin Dunbar found as the natural limit of stable human relationships, now widely known as Dunbar's number: 150 faces, 150 rivals, 150 measuring sticks. You compare yourself to millions. Every time you open your phone, you are shown the vacation, the new car, the renovated kitchen, the promotion of people your brain treats as part of your tribe, except they are not. They are strangers, curated, filtered, and often performing wealth they don't actually have. But your ancient brain doesn't know the difference. It sees a person who appears to have more status, and it quietly files you as behind. This is what researcher Robert Frank called luxury fever. As the people around us seem to have more, our own definition of enough keeps rising to match them. Frank's research on positional goods showed something unsettling. A lot of spending isn't really about the object itself. It's about rank. A bigger house isn't just shelter, it's a signal. A newer phone isn't just a tool. It's proof you belong at a certain level, and that need for rank never turns off. Because your brain isn't measuring your bank account against your needs. It's measuring your bank account against your feed.
So you buy something. And for a moment, the gap closes. You feel like you've caught up, but the moment doesn't last, because somewhere, someone else just posted something newer. Is it any wonder you feel poor even when your actual life would have made a medieval king weep with envy? You have clean water on demand, food from 6 continents within a 10-minute drive, medicine that would have seemed like sorcery 200 years ago. And still, you feel like you're falling behind, not because your life is failing, but because your comparison group has expanded to the entire planet, and your ancient brain was never designed to process a rivalry that large. There's a name for the mental toll this takes. Some researchers describe it as cognitive debt, the constant, low-grade calculation running in the background of your mind. Am I doing better or worse than them? Should I have that? Can I afford that? Every open tab of comparison costs you attention, and attention is the resource your brain actually runs on, not money. Attention. This is why financial stress doesn't just feel like a math problem. It feels like an identity problem. Because to your ancient brain, falling behind in status wasn't just embarrassing, it was existential. Losing rank in the tribe once meant losing protection, losing food, losing your place in the group that kept you alive. Your body still reacts to a lower bank balance the way it once reacted to being pushed toward the edge of the tribe. That's why a stranger's success can make your stomach tighten, even if it changes nothing about your own life. Consider what happens inside a household when income actually rises. You would expect relief. Often, you get the opposite. Economist Richard Easterlin noticed something similar decades ago when he compared happiness levels across entire countries. Nations that grew richer over time did not become proportionally happier. Income climbed. Contentment stayed flat. It became known as the Easterlin paradox, and it applies just as easily to a single household as it does to an entire economy. More money arrives, but so does a new set of comparisons that money itself creates. A bigger house means new neighbors to measure against. A better job means new colleagues whose lifestyles suddenly matter. The ladder doesn't disappear when you climb it. It just grows a new rung above your head. Now think about debt for a moment. Not the debt on a spreadsheet. The debt inside your mind. Every purchase made to close a status gap doesn't erase the gap. It borrows against tomorrow's satisfaction to fund today's comparison. You feel the relief of buying something the moment you buy it. But that relief has an interest rate. It fades faster than the bill does. And so you're left paying for the object long after the emotional reward it was supposed to deliver has already disappeared. This might explain something that seems irrational on the surface. Why would someone with a comfortable, stable income still feel financially anxious every single day? Their spreadsheet looks fine. Their bills are paid. And yet the anxiety persists because the anxiety was never really about the spreadsheet. It was about rank. And rank, unlike a bank balance, has no ceiling. There is always someone one step further up the ladder, visible now in a way no human brain ever had to process before. Social media didn't invent this feeling. It just industrialized it. Before, you needed to physically visit someone's home to feel the sting of their success. Now it arrives uninvited, every few seconds, engineered by algorithms that have learned exactly which images make you pause a little longer. Researchers studying digital comparison have found that passive scrolling, simply observing other people's curated lives without interacting, correlates most strongly with feelings of inadequacy, not because those lives are necessarily better, but because your ancient brain has no filter for context. It cannot tell the difference between a real rival from your 150-person tribe and a stranger on another continent who spent 4 hours staging a single photograph. There is a strange comfort hiding inside all of this, if you look for it. None of what you feel is a personal failure. It is not weakness. It is not a lack of gratitude. It is old machinery doing exactly what it evolved to do, just running in an environment it was never calibrated for. Knowing this doesn't erase the feeling, but it does change what you do with it. Instead of asking, "Why can't I just be satisfied?" You can start asking a more useful question. Whose ranking am I actually running right now? And did I even choose to enter it? So what do you do with a brain built for a world of 150 rivals, now living in a world of infinite ones? Psychologists Thomas Gilovich and Leif van Boven found something worth holding onto here. When people spend money on experiences rather than possessions, the comparison trap weakens. A trip, a dinner with people you love, an afternoon spent doing something that actually engages you. These don't invite the same instant side-by-side ranking that a new car or a bigger house does. Experiences are harder to compare, and strangely, that seems to be exactly why they satisfy longer. Maybe the goal was never to win the comparison. Maybe the goal was to stop playing a game your ancestors invented for a tribe of 150 people. You don't even live inside anymore. Your brain will keep resetting. That part won't change. It's not broken. It's just old software running inside a world that evolved much faster than you did. But you get to choose what you feed it. You can keep handing it an infinite scroll of curated rivals and let it keep telling you that you're behind. Or you can remember that the treadmill was never about arriving. It was only ever about moving. And once you understand that the finish line was designed to keep retreating, you stop running quite so hard toward it. You check your bank account one more time. The number is the same as an hour ago. But this time, you already know why you looked.